7. You've had 2 playoff appearances, 1 championship. You guys will always be the first. The ELF bleeds purple year one. All right, that'll never go away. And then, you get a familiar friend, obviously, join the league in the Ryan Fire. Obviously, it's noted not much success, 0-5 with a point differential of 11 points, within those games. I say all that because it seems like this offseason there's been a big transformation in terms of the approach heading into this year. Obviously, there's personnel changes. There's some coaching changes, and even thinking about the type of guys that were brought in. But before we dive into that, I want to ask you, when the season ended and then when the off season kicked off, talk about your overall thoughts, mindset on how you were going to build the 2024 Frankfurt Galaxy.
It's really a step-by-step process. I mean, I'm doing this now long, and I know the in and outs of my team, of the coaching staff. I mean, especially in Frankfurt, we had a really tight coaching staff that worked together for a long time, right? And for us, the season ended fortunately a little shorter. So I went to the bowl game, and I used that bowl game also to reflect and getting through some emotions again. And after that, yeah, just always start to ask what you need to do better. And it first starts with myself. I always ask what I need to do better, or if I'm the right person still, to do it, because that's my goal. If I feel that I'm the problem here, I will go, because this is my passion, this is my team. And it always starts with me. That's how I lead. Then the next thing is what was maybe not that good, or maybe more where we need a change up. I mean, Ryan Fire, they set the benchmark, and we can easily talk. They had an offense that scored 40, 45 points a game. That was their goal. I mean, the defense was very talented and stuff, but it was the offense that really blew out the league. I
It
mean, it's
became a
easy
track
to
meet by the
play.
second
But
quarter.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And was how can we stay close to them, or maybe be one? So we need to be more explosive on offense. So there was some thought process in it, but the first thing was really the a lot of going on in the football team, and we are very consistent with our imports and with coaches. So after that season, I just had a feeling we need to have a change. I would describe it. Maybe I just need to open the window to get fresh air in it. It's not because everything was bad. It was just we need something new. We want to catch up to the Rhine Fire. And the decision started first with the OC. Then I made a tough decision with Jacob, who we love still here in Frankfurt, and we are thankful for him. But it was time to move on, and then everything fall in place. It started with Luke, because I in contact with him for a long time, and when we had Luke, other things open up. I mean, with Luke, we have one of the strongest arms in the league. We didn't have that with Jacob. And no offense, Jacob was a great quarterback with his strengths and weaknesses. With Luke, you can play different. So it's more like we need a stretch guy. Who is the best stretch guy? Then Markel came into play because he played with Luke, which is another tough decision, because Reese is a phenomenal receiver, right? But Markel is maybe more the stretch guy we can use with Luke, and then everything falls into play a little bit. But the biggest key for us is strengthen the offense line, and everybody who saw Ryan Fire know what the strength is, and that was our goal. So that's why we recruited hard Steven Nielsen for us, and we had some good tryouts and get some O linemen, and everything fall into place. And that we signed Sandro now. Sandro Blatzkummer is just the cherry on the cake. I think this offense will look different, but I think that's maybe the most explosive offense on paper we ever have.
Yeah, and speaking of Sandro, we'll dive into other those, but Luke Zaraka always scheming something. I don't know if you know, but Luke's from New York. I'm from Jersey. We were closer than we thought, so we kind of know like the ins and outs. But Luke Zaraka always scheming something. So, but no, you mentioned it, and some of those, even those European signings like Steven Nielsen, huge. Obviously, offensive lineman huge in this league. Quality offensive lineman huge. You get your left tackle to protect to pair up with Yannick as well. Nico Lester, obviously we know his story, what he's coming back from, his heart condition. I'm excited to see him back on the field, as well. Sandro, big. We'll see how he is coming off the leg injury, but I'm assuming once he's healthy he's going to provide more than just some guy in the run game, but in the passing game as well. All right, and then some other guys you bring back. Brandon Butler, right? He used to play for the Frankfurt Universe, had a stint with the Prague Lions. Christian Santos and Sua from the Unicorns, right? That's another running back to add to the mix. Paul Leinhart, right? So I was talking with my friend Matt Bresenton the other day, who does like scouting for AFI in terms of like the weapons, and then I started looking. I was like, oh, they actually got some guys, and one of the things that I'm noticing is the guys you got that you have brought in have high potential in terms of playmaking ability. Like the goal is obviously for most teams going to be to take Markelle away. So who's your next guy? Obviously, you bring back Nico Strawman, and you got these other guys who could hit from any angle, who just got to win their one on ones. From you personally, what's the potential impact that these guys can have on this offense heading into 2024?
Yeah, I think the expectations will be high because there is no ceiling, to be honest. Like you said, we have so many playmakers now. We have really guys who can make something happen. And what I love to be as recruiting a team, I want to have a structure in it. I don't want to have just explosive guys. We need that possession receiver too. And we that with Nico Straman. We need that tall receiver. That's why we signed Benny Mao. He's over 2 meters, so we have that tall target we lost when Lawrence Regler went to the Ravens, right? So we have small shifty receivers. We have the Schum brothers and again Markelle. So I think it's going to be tough for defense to really game planning for us. Obviously, Markelle will be a big key, but Sandro will be in the backfield too. Thomas Fischbach. So I think we shifting a little bit the priority, or I don't know the priority, but we understood if you want to play with the Rhine Fire, you need to score 30 to 40 points. And this is how we attack the offseason. We need to have that offense.